Godzilla versus Gigan. Godzilla versus Gigan is directed by John Fukudoga, who did most of the movies after this movie. But he also did a couple. I think he did one movie. I'm not exact. My memory is corrected. I'm not sure which one was that. I think I said it in an earlier video. So this movie follows the story of a struggling cartoonist. This guy is kind of like he's trying to sell his ideas, and his ideas are just not working, and he's dealing with a very he's just kind of like an everyday job that we're dealing with a boss that we hate, that we just wanna kill your boss. This is this so he he's trying to sell his ideas, and he ends up working for this place called Children's Land that is run by intelligent cockroaches, and he stumbles upon a plot to take over the world. It's kind of like a Pacific Rim Uprising, where the cursor aliens are trying to terraform the world to suit their conveniences. And on this movie, the cockroaches on here, basically they're human-sized cockroaches that are intelligent, that come from a planet that's almost similar to us, that but died or just went uninhabited because there was too much pollution and garbage dumped into the atmosphere, and so they have to come. They decide they're going to come here and take over the world, and they use Godzilla. They use Gigan and King Ghidorah to help them, aid them in their pursuit to take over the world. So Godzilla and Anguirus are hibernating on a monster island. They're awakened by these tapes that are actually meant to control Ghidorah and Gigan. So on the surface, this movie is probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time. It is on my top 10 list favorite Godzilla movies. You guys should check that video out so you can see the commentary on why I think that Godzilla vs. Gigan should make that list. But so I remember seeing this movie in KTLE Channel 5, and this is probably one of my first in the early 80s. It is probably one of my first Godzilla movies I ever saw. It is probably one of my absolute favorites. I really dig this movie a whole lot. And this movie is probably one of the most unique entries. But what really, we already know these movies are not actually good. But what really irritates me is the stock footage they use in this movie. It's really lazy, rushed way of filmmaking, and early Godzilla movies are notorious for rushed filmmaking, and the final product, you really see how these movies suffer a lot. But then again, it is the 70s. This movie was released in 1972, so you really can see that problem. But at the same time, this movie is probably one of my favorite, most iconic movies, because it is the first movie where you see somebody cuss on a Godzilla movie, because the cartoonist is talking to I guess she's his co-worker, and he secretly has a crush on her or something, but at the same time, he can't stand her, so he calls her the B word, and that is the first for any Godzilla movie. This is also the first and only Godzilla movie where you see Godzilla and Anguirus and Gilas talk on the movie. Hey, I'm Gila. What do you want? Something funny going on. You better check. Oh yeah. Hurry up. Hey, Gila, come on. There's a lot of trouble again. Let's hurry. Okay. It's So they're able to hear the monsters speak, but once the tape gets destroyed, when there's a Godzilla tower, also notorious on this movie, there's a Godzilla tower on here that is later used as a weapon against Godzilla to help King Ghidorah and Gigan for against their battle with Anguirus and Godzilla. So, and what I really like about this movie is just it's very in your face. It's very fast paced. But then again, it does kind of, in the beginning, kind of takes a little bit to develop. But it's probably one of my favorites of all time. And probably one of the funniest aspects on this movie is the girl who happens to be the co-worker of the cartoonist, who knows martial arts. So she's like, there's this scene that takes place, this really funny scene that takes place where They come in, they try to, they're supposed to kill or gun down the, because there's actually the two bandits that recover the cassette or tape or film of that's going to help the aliens control Godzilla, able to control King Ghidorah and Gigan, and they're investigating what happened to her brother, who happens to be actually held hostage inside the Godzilla tower, and they have to somehow find a way to get him, to recover him. And there's a lot of really laugh out loud moments, because obviously that tower looks like it's real. I didn't do a study into that Godzilla tower, but there's an actual scene where you see dummies going down this rope, and they're supposed to be getting away, helping them get away. And there's just a lot of really a plethora of stuff that you could really pick this movie apart. But I really like this movie a whole lot, and I think it deserves to be on my top 10 Godzilla movies of all time. And the dubbing on this movie, I mean, obviously the dubbing on this movie, on almost every Godzilla movie in the showa series, including the Heisei series, is hilarious. There's a lot of mumbling on this movie, taking a lot of like the Australian accents that they use, the actors they use to dub this movie, because there's a lot of stuff like this. Without that, we would have no control over those monsters. Conditions are very favorable for us. Not ideal as it is, but we could soon make it peaceful indeed. Our plans are only started to go on. Or so there's also a subplot about their planet being destroyed because of pollution. And around this time, there was a lot of this is kind of like the greenhouse effect era. It was happening because the evidence of that is the Godzilla movie I reviewed before this one, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. So Godzilla and Anguilla show up in Tokyo, and then we have and once again they use stock footage from Godzilla versus Monster Zero during that battle, and it just really sucks because this is also the first movie where you actually see blood. There's actual blood. I think they might have used blood packs for when Gigan uses his buzzsaw, and this is the introduction of Gigan as a half cyborg, half monster kaiju with a buzzsaw built on his, and he has kind of like claw-looking, pincer-looking claws for hands, for arms. So this is actually also the probably one of the most odd entries in the series, because there's just a lot of stuff taking place in this movie that's just really odd. It's hard to really make sense of it because when you're watching it, but in the end, you have a really good time, because this movie, we already know, because you could tell the Godzilla suit from the armpits, the Godzilla 1968 suit they used on this film is already deteriorating, because you could see the armpit part of it looks like it's getting loose or something like that. But on outside of that, I mean, the designs of the creatures are really good. And Gigan looks like he looks probably I like this Gigan more than I like the 2004 version from Godzilla Final Wars as a whole. And of course, they used the 1968 Anguirus as well as the King Ghidorah from the same film, Destroy All Monsters. And okay, if you like this video, put a like below and share this video. Help me reach that 2,000 subscribers so I can give you guys better content and give you guys better stuff. Because I am the YouTube alternative. I am still your reviewer, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when I'm doing another video. And once again, comment on this video. Let me know, what is your favorite part? What is your favorite showa Godzilla film? This was on my top 10 favorite Godzilla movies of all time. And okay, if I covered everything, I hope I covered everything. I will see you guys real soon for the next review. All right, bye. Peace out.